Welcome to The Heart of Health Live. There's a place for modern medicine in your life. Learn to use it correctly by getting your toughest questions answered on today's broadcast. Discover modern medicine's strengths and weaknesses. Lifestyle medicine opens the door to optimum health and healing. How you live and what you eat can profoundly affect mind and body. Learn simple solutions to complex problems. God provides the ultimate healing we all desire. He wants us healthy and happy. We just need to understand His plan for our lives and live accordingly. And now, live from Studio 1A in Chattanooga, Tennessee, here's your Heart of Health host, Dr. James Marcum.
Welcome, welcome. I'm glad you took the time out of your busy schedule to once again join us on Heart of Health Live, where actually you are the program. And we're here each week to serve you. We want to answer your questions. And tonight's topic is about foot care. And the area of medicine that deals with foot care is called podiatrist. And we have a specialist, Dr. Haag, who's here with us today, going to answer a lot of your questions. If you want to be one of the first to call in, our phone number is 855-644-3278. You can either talk to Dr. Haag live or you can leave your question with one of our callers. We also want to invite you to check out our website at heartwiseministries.org or become one of our Facebook friends. Some interesting facts I was given to just a few minutes ago. Did you realize that 3 out of 4 Americans experience serious foot problems sometimes in their life? And 1/4 of all the bones in the human body are in your feet. And if your feet aren't happy, the alignment of your body is totally disrupted. That also affects the nervous system and everything else. Most of the time, it's neglect and lack of awareness that causes foot problems. And women have 4 times as many foot problems as men, and they might blame that on high heels. I don't wear high heels, so maybe I won't experience that problem. The number 1 cause of disability in America now is arthritis, and arthritis can also affect the feet. And here's the most interesting of all, I think. There are 250,000, 250,000 sweat glands in your feet, and that makes a half pint of moisture a day. That's a lot of fluid. So if you have questions about your feet or about your mother's feet or about your son's feet, give us a call. I'm going to introduce Dr. Haag after this short break. Our number, don't forget it, 855-644-3278, and you're watching Heart of Health Live.
The Heart of Health Live will return in just a moment.
The Heart of Health Live is brought to you by Heartwise Ministries.
Medicines That Kill from cardiologist Dr. James Marcum is now available. In his newest book, Dr. Marcum explains why he believes that medications may very well be the #1 cause of death in America. Medicines That Kill uncovers the hidden risks associated with modern pharmaceuticals and outlines the biblical plan for physical and spiritual health. To find out how to get your copy, visit our website at heartwiseministries.org or call us toll-free at 855-644-3278.
So here's a question. If you love Jesus, and I mean truly love Him, people will notice, right? I mean, if Jesus is at the center of everything you do, people will have to notice. And that is exactly what Life Talk is all about. You see, at Life Talk, our goal has always been to connect people to the true source of power, Jesus Christ. We know with Jesus at the center of our lives, nothing is impossible.
My life is full of statistics. Thing is, I could have dropped out of school and become one myself, but I didn't because I had people that believed in me. Here's another statistic. 7,000 students drop out every school day. That's 1 every 26 seconds. It's time that students know that we believe in them.
Inspire a student and share your message of support at boostup.org.
Imagine a classroom with no boundaries. A classroom where reenacting a book is an English class, and repairing a motor is a math lesson. A classroom where caring for horses is biology. This is our classroom. At Bachman Academy, 6th to 12th graders with ADHD, dyslexia, and other language-based learning differences are provided a language-rich, hands-on program of study. With an average of 5 students per teacher, Bachman students receive more attention and have more time to learn while using their own learning strengths. Now, imagine your child in this classroom. To learn more about Bachman Academy, visit our website at www.bachmanacademy.org. Bachman Academy, tapping potential one person at a time.
You've got questions, we've got answers on the Heart of Health Live. Welcome back.
If you've just joined us, we're talking about foot care. Another name for that might be podiatrist. We have Dr. Haag with us. We want to thank her for joining us. Dr. Haag, welcome to Heart of Health Live.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And tell us, what got you interested in taking care of probably the most critical movement organ in our body, the feet?
Well, it's been a while. I've been thinking about this for about 30 years now.
Okay.
I started out in a solo practice and then went to a group practice. I do everything from general podiatry to foot and ankle surgery. I am board certified by the American Board of Podiatric Surgery and also the Wound Center. So we see quite a variety of problems.
So you have to become an expert in this. You actually go to school and...
That's right. You do undergraduate, college, 4 years of medical school, and then residency, 1 to 4 years, depending whether you want to, what type of surgery you want to do.
And how long have you been helping? You see patients every day?
I do.
Okay, so you're very qualified to answer our questions
Yes.
here. Okay. Well, one of the first questions has come in from our website here, and that's, how can I prevent foot problems? My mom has severe bunions, and I want no part of this. How can I pick a perfect shoe?
Good question.
Okay.
When you're looking at a shoe, because again, a lot of problems are presented by the wrong shoe. Okay. Several things, and I'll go over them quickly for you. This obviously, a sneaker is a better type of shoe than most shoes. Usually we go to a store and we think this is the old Brannock scale and we want to get measured for length and width, and that's fine, but we have to keep in mind that different shoes, different companies, different sizes. So always make sure the shoe fits. Okay. What you want to do is look for a shoe with a good stiff counter. You want to look for a shoe that has a round enough toe, and that's where a lot of women especially get in trouble with bunions. You want to have a high enough toe box, enough room for the toes. You want to be able to squeeze maybe about a thumb in front of the big toe. And big one, you should never be able to bend a shoe in half. I'm bending the shoe right at the sulcus, or where the toes are. Some of these new shoes, you can take them and you can bend them in half.
That's not good?
No good.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So that just gives you good support. So that's some of the things to look for. Like in a sneaker too, the more leather on a shoe, the better the support. Okay. I know a lot of them are fabric. It lets your foot breathe, but again, more leather, better support.
So let's go over those again, because thumb
in front of the big toe,
because that's important.
High enough toe box.
Okay.
Some people have cocked up toes. Round enough toe. Some people have squared feet, and so that's very important. Nice stiff counter in the back.
So you want it stiff everywhere.
You do. And you don't want to be able to ever bend a shoe in half.
So that would not be a good shoe, would it?
No, this would. Here's the sulcus. Okay. The half comes right in the middle of the arch.
I see.
Okay. So this is a good one. You have to bend there to propel yourself forward.
Okay.
And of course, a better shoe too has a removable intersole.
Okay.
Okay. Why? Because so many people nowadays wear custom orthotics or some type of intersole. So if you can take that out, you can put your custom piece right in. Okay. A tie shoe is better than a slip-on or a Velcro closure. Okay. And the more leather, the better.
Okay. Now, this person says they have severe bunions. So first of all, what is a bunion?
Good question. Got a foot model here, and a bunion is where this bone right here sticks out. Okay. It's not actually it can be a bump on the bone, but it's actually where the bone, instead of being straight, just deviates to the side. You can get a bunion on this side, you can get a bunion on this side. This is the most prominent one. And
do the shoes cause that, or what causes it?
Well, imagine if you have a real pointed shoe, high heels, just the wrong shoe can. A lot of it's hereditary, some of it's hereditary. but a lot of it is brought on by the type of shoe you wear.
Okay, so this wants to prevent bunions. So how would you do that besides picking a good shoe? Anything
Well,
else?
picking a good shoe, again, if you have a flat foot, you need a good arch support.
Okay.
If you have a flat foot, your foot rolls in, you need something that's going to realign you to make you walk straight and correctly.
Okay, I think that answered that question very, very well. Now, next question has come in. It's come into our website. It's heartwiseministries.org. And you can still give us a call, 855-644-3278 for your question. Is there anything natural that can be done about toenail fungi? This is probably the most common one we get on our website.
And you know, fungus or onychomycosis is what it's
Okay.
called. That's fungus of the nail, is a very prominent problem that we see. The three main ways that we treat this, okay? And the first one is with oral medicine, and I know that question wants to get away from that. So we can put that away.
But that is an option.
That is an option, and if we went that way, we would monitor that individual very closely with blood work.
And how long would they have to take the oral medication?
A minimum of 90 days.
3 months. Okay.
Yes, okay? And again, we just monitor them along the way.
Now, before we go on, what would you say the success rate is of that type of surgery? That type of treatment?
Good. The pharmaceutical company states about 75 to 80%.
Okay.
Number two, that's treating it from the inside. Number two is to treat it from the outside. So I use topicals. The rule of thumb is liquid on a nail, cream on skin.
Okay.
So we use different liquids. And I know there's different fallacies out there. My patients come in with Clorox and Vicks Vapor Rub and Listerine, and they've tried all, and they swear by it's clearing it up. The only thing that it really does, it perhaps cleans up the nail a little bit more, but it does not kill the fungus.
Okay.
So if you're going to use something, use an antifungal. There are several antifungals on the market. Most of them are not as successful. You're down maybe about 17% success if you just used a topical medication. Only because, and it depends on the type of fungus. There's a fungus that is white superficial. It's just like a powdery dust on the top of the nail. That's the easy one, and a topical works very well. Okay. We just sand it off, clean it off really good, you put the topical medicine on there. The other ones are where you get these very thick, we call them dystrophic, yellow, crumbly nails. People who've had them for years. That's a tougher one to do with topical. But you've got to hang in there. The nail takes about 6 to 9 months to grow from the back border straight forward. So this is not a week's cure or 2 weeks, so you have to hang in there with that. So number two is topically.
Okay.
There are several ones. You asked natural. Well, that's a tough one. You're going to have to go, you want to use good soap and water, antibacterial soap. Keep your feet clean, keep that area clean, but you're going to have to use an antifungal that's out there. Third, you have to, we treat people and we get them cleared up, and in 6 months to a year later, they're back to see us again. And they say, look, what happened here? And I ask them, what are you putting your foot into? Okay. What does the shoe look like? Pull the inner sole out. You'd be surprised. A lot of times you'll see dust around there. It's mold that grows in there. So you have to make sure that you have a healthy environment. If you have an old shoe, an old sneaker, throw it out. It's not worth it to save it. There are sprays, antifungal sprays that you can get for the shoe. And then let me show you high tech.
Okay, high tech.
Okay, high tech. This is called a steri shoe. And what it actually is a shoe tree. It goes down into the shoe, and what it has right here is an ultraviolet light. Okay. You don't touch an ultraviolet light, you don't look at it, and obviously when it goes into the shoe, it won't turn on unless it's totally immersed in the shoe. Poke the button, in a 45-minute treatment, it kills 99.9% fungus, mold, yeast, and bacteria.
Wow.
That's pretty amazing, right?
Wow.
And so you get a pair of them, just put them in, you wear your shoe, you put them in, and you're clear for the next day.
How much will that cost, you think?
These run around $95 or more. And they say that if you used it once a day or once a night, you could get 4 years out of that bulb.
Well, we're going to go to break, and after break, we're going to San Diego. Give us a call, 855-644-3278. We're talking with Dr. Haag. We're going to be right back talking about your feet. Stay with us.
The Heart of Health Live will return in just a moment.
I'm Dr. James Marcum, and I talk to patients every day who want to know the truth in healthcare. On our website, heartwiseministries.org, you can have your questions answered. You can read my blog where I talk about interesting and controversial subjects in medicine. You might choose to go to the radio or television sections and learn more about all sorts of health topics. Take the time and go to heartwiseministries.org.
I'd like to think that one day, when we get to heaven, we're going to see a list of people like Jared and Susan, who were introduced to Jesus because of something we said, or maybe it was as simple as a passing smile. But these people will look into their past and be able to say, I'm here because of you. Recently, you may have heard that Heartwise Ministries has begun spreading the gospel to the young, the old, the sick, and the healthy using this very television program, but we need your help. We want to take this type of medical programming to the non-believer and the person who has closed themselves off to traditional forms of outreach. If you believe as we do and want to support Heartwise so that together we can count more names on the Tree of Life, please consider donating today at heartwiseministries.org. That's heartwiseministries.org.
There's a place for modern medicine, but that's not enough. There's a place for lifestyle, but that's not enough. The real truth in medicine, the real truth in healing comes from that relationship with the Heavenly Father. That relationship can show us the balance, when to use modern medicine, when to use lifestyle, and to use it for the right reasons. Well, this book gives the solution to the healthcare dilemma. It answers the question, why am I sick? How do I get better? And how can I have ultimate healing?
You've got questions, we've got answers on the Heart of Health Live. Welcome back.
Welcome back. We're talking with Dr. Haag about your foot. And right now we have Gina on calling from California. Gina, you're on with Dr. Haag. What is your question or comment?
I had a question about orthotics. I have a girlfriend that had what she calls flat feet, or her arches seem to be collapsing. She went and got orthotics, and she had them casted up special to her feet, and she got graphite orthotics, and she's just on cloud nine, and she's telling me that's my problem because I have a similar problem, and so she's telling me the answer. So I wondered what Dr. Haag thought of that.
Okay, orthotics.
Orthotics. Did you say you had flat feet?
Yes, I do. I seem to be having similar problems to her, and even like the ball of my foot has a very strange sensation. Every time I step down, it's almost like nerves are being stepped on, or the ball of my foot is trying to stick down through my foot, the bone.
Okay.
Plus, it seems like I'm losing my arches as I get older. So.
Well, when you do have a flat foot, we've got a flat foot right here, absolutely the whole structure of the foot drops down, and it puts everything out of balance in the front of the foot. So you're going to hit the metatarsals at an angle that they're not supposed to. What does an orthotic do? An orthotic helps to rebalance you and put your foot back where you are. A good question is, when should you have an over-the-counter arch support, or when should you have a custom orthotic? And
exactly.
the difference,
what I want to know.
And the difference is, the ones that are over the counter are usually just glorified cushions.
Okay.
And because your foot and my foot are totally different, and to sell a product, they just want to put a little bit of support in. When you constantly have a problem, it sounds like yours, and an over-the-counter product doesn't do it, you need to step up to something custom. And yes, it's made to a casting of your foot, taking some measurements, and send it to the lab. Graphite is a more rigid type of orthotic that's made, and it's great for some people. There are several different products. We have a whole list. We probably use about 20 different types of shells, and that's what this part is. That has to be rigid enough to support your body weight and the activities that you do, but not hard enough that you can't stand it.
Right.
So again, graphite is one of the hardest ones that's out there. Different top covers.
Now she only has half of her, it looks like half of an orthotic or whatever. It fills up half of her shoe. Is that right? In your opinion?
Well, you're calling it half, but that's really what the orthotic is. And if you're calling in, I know you can't see this, but the orthotic comes just behind the metatarsal heads, right through here, and that's the orthotic. What people call the full, if you're wearing a shoe that has an inner sole that comes out, we can put a full top cover on it and it will look like this.
I see.
But the true orthotic is the short one, and you're not getting shortchanged by getting the short one. The short ones, the true orthotic fits in most shoes, casual shoes, what have you. Again, the ones that have the long top cover only fit in if you can pull out the inner sole of your shoe.
Right. Okay. Well, she's thrilled with hers. I think she has something soft that sits on the top of her other ones, actually. So maybe that's it.
There are many different top covers that we use. We even have a new top cover. It's called Ecstatic. It has silver in there. And if you have sweaty feet or you're more prone to a fungus infection, that just absorbs the perspiration too and helps prevent fungus. So there's different top covers.
Great. Well, thank you. That shows I do need to probably make an appointment instead of getting over-the-counter inserts.
It sounds like you are not an over-the-counter person.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for calling, Gina. You know, that's an interesting question. It sounds like basically if you don't, if you have pain in your foot and you buy something over the counter, you're wasting your money.
Right. Right.
In
most cases.
You really have to have this, and it sounds like it's such a, we talked about that with the bones in the foot, if they're out of line, the whole body is going to be out of line.
Absolutely.
Leg problems, joint problems, back problems, all related to your feet.
A building is built on a firm foundation, and it starts with your feet.
Yeah. Now, last segment we were talking about toenails, okay? And I noticed on that flat foot you have some red on the toenails. What's that all about?
We did. We put that on there. Can you believe it? Wanted to draw your attention to that because we talked about fungus before, and I missed saying this, that a lot of problems are caused by wearing toenail polish.
Oh, really? Okay.
And what happens is the number one ingredient for toenail polish is formaldehyde.
Okay.
And formaldehyde is an irritant to the nail. Your nails are skin. It's just a hard keratin skin. And again, the nail polish can be an irritant and can destroy part of the nail. And then sometimes too, a lot of people go to a nail salon and they'll have a pretty color painted on. They'll put that vial back on the counter there and someone else comes along and you can get fungus from somebody else. So what's the remedy there? If you're going to wear nail polish, there are natural nail polishes out there that have no formaldehyde.
Okay.
They have protein and just natural elements in there. So that's one way to go. The other way is don't wear nail polish. Keep your nails exposed, and just if you have to, just wear them for an occasion, but let the nail be natural.
Maybe we should make a nail polish with an antifungal in it.
We'd have that.
Oh, we have that?
We have that, yes.
Wow.
There's another one.
Okay.
So that's out there.
Everything's out there that you can market. Well, that's very, very interesting.
Yes.
Here's another one that's come from our website. We might have to talk of this for a while. Right now, there's so many people with diabetes, type 2 diabetes, keeps going. And up to 60 to 70% of diabetics have diabetic nerve damage. And this person, how often should a diabetic have their foot checked to see if they're having problems?
That's a very important question. Diabetics should be seen at least annually.
Okay.
Unfortunately, this question is now going back to what does your insurance cover?
Right.
And that's where we have to follow guidelines there. But we try to at least get them in yearly. Medicare does it 4 times a year, so it depends on your insurance coverage.
Seems like it might be a pretty good investment.
Oh, absolutely. If we can prevent problems, the cost of an amputation is around $100,000.
Wow.
And that's not to put the fear in people saying you're going to have an amputation if you don't have your feet checked.
Right.
No. But problems with diabetics first start in your feet and your eyes. So prevention is the key here.
Wow, and with more and more people getting type 2 diabetes, you know, it's very critical that they avoid these foot infections, make sure they've got
Right.
good circulation. So that's a very good point. So at least if you have diabetes, at least have it checked every year. This one might not be so quick, but this one's come into our website. I've been suffering with an ingrown toenail. What are our treatment options for ingrown toenails?
Okay, ingrown toenails, very common problem, and a lot of it is self-induced. We do not dig down into the sides of the nail. Basically, you want to cut the toenail to the shape of the toe.
Okay.
You don't want points, but you don't want to go down into the corners. And if you do get ingrown toenails, sometimes ingrown toenails are from too tight of shoes, too pointed of shoes. But if you do get ingrown toenails, a procedure is done where just a side border of the nail is removed, and we can put a chemical down in there that just that side border doesn't grow back in. No cutting, no sutures, no stitches that way. And that works very, very well.
You know, I learned my lesson the hard way on that. For years, it would start hurting and get inflamed and red, you know, like they get. And I would just dig that nail up and do it up. Finally, I had to give it up and get it treated, and and I haven't had a problem since.
Good.
But if you don't cut your nails right,
that's the problem. And your body responds to not cutting it correctly, and the skin puffs up around there, and so it can get worse.
Okay, well, we're about ready to go to break, and you can still join the fun here, learn about your feet. Dr. Haag's not going to send you a bill. She's just serving everyone because she wants everyone to have better health. Give us a call, 855-644-3278. We're going to be right back answering some more questions after this short break. So stay with us, go get a drink, come back. We're going to talk about feet. You're going to learn a lot. Stay with us.
The Heart of Health Live will return in just a moment.
I'm Dr. James Marcum with your medical moment. I don't know about you, but I get thirsty if I talk a lot. Well, one of the greatest needs of our body is water. Did you realize that up to 70% of our body is water? All the chemical reactions from the brain to the heart beating to the muscles moving all depend on water. It's one of the most important substances we put in our body. If we get dehydrated, many bad things happen. We can have inflammation, we can have the blood thicken, we can have blood pressure changes, we can even have our heart race. You don't want to be walking around in the desert. Hydrate yourself. How much do you need? Divide your weight in two, that's about how many ounces. Or drink enough water till your urine comes out clean. Remember, water is one of the most important ingredients we put in ourselves every day.
To learn more about your health and discover what Dr. Marcum is doing in your area, visit heartwiseministries.org.
Have you ever heard things about God that didn't make sense? Have you ever thought that science and Scripture cannot be reconciled? Have you heard ideas about God that scare you? Or are you just tired and confused? If you want answers to complex problems, if you want a testable, evidence-based understanding of God and the world around you, an understanding in which the Bible and science harmonize to reveal the reality that God is love all the time, then Come and Reason Ministries is for you. Hi, I'm Dr. Tim Jennings, board-certified psychiatrist, and Come and Reason Ministries is dedicated to helping you learn to discern, to stimulate you to think, to help hone and refine your ability to know the right from the wrong, the healthy from the unhealthy, and teach you how to experience healing of your mind, body, and relationships here and now. If you would like an evidence-based approach to knowing God, then visit us online at comeandreason.com.
You've got questions, we've got answers on the Heart of Health Live. Welcome back.
Welcome back. You can give us a call, 855-644-3278. We have an expert on. Dr. Haag knows all about the feet. She's in the greater Chattanooga area. If you have a problem in our area, We'll put her contact number up. You can give her a call. She'll help you with your feet. Right now we have Roger. Roger from Florida, what's your comment or question for Dr. Haag?
My question is, when I was working, I had accident with my feet. And now my toes are all messed up, all over broken except one. And I need some information on that. And the toenails all messed up. Can you help me, please?
The toenails are messed up, or your toes are broken?
Yes, see, they were broken and they ain't right. And now the toes, especially my two big toes, they are like all the nails. They just ain't nothing right on them.
It sounds like the nails are damaged, and
yeah,
a lot of times after you've had injury too, you get dried blood underneath the nail. That in a dark, damp place in your shoe, perfect environment for a fungus to grow. And it sounds like you've got a fungal infection going on.
I do have a fungal infection going on.
Okay. He needs to see a podiatrist, right?
He does. He needs to see a doctor, see a podiatrist, and have that looked at.
Have you seen anybody, Roger?
No, I haven't. I had some people like doing those foreigners, whatever they do call, you get a foot treatment or something, you know. But that didn't. It's not doing any good. It's very possible I do need to see a doctor, but I didn't know.
Need to see a podiatrist in your area.
There's specialists, Roger, called podiatrists, and we suggest you go see one because if you don't get it treated early, it could cause other problems. So you need to get on this before it hurts something else in your body. Okay?
Oh, I appreciate that.
Thanks for calling, Roger.
And thanks for your answer. Please.
Okay. Rose, you're on with Dr. Haag. Go ahead, Rose.
Yes, about 4 or 5 years ago, I had a friend step back on me, and he stepped on my big toe and the toe next to it, and the toe next to it kind of got deformed and keeps on getting a little bump on it, like a wart, for lack of a better word. And the toe, the big toe, the next day when I had woken up, there was all that blood like you were mentioning with that gentleman, and it looks like I've got fungus in it. The toenail now is all deformed and stuff, keep the nail short and I keep it cleaned and stuff like that. And excuse me. And the other thing is I've talked to a couple of my doctors, like when I was living in Florida, and I showed them the foot, and they said, "Oh, don't worry about it, it'll heal." But I said, "But it looks like fungus because as I keep the nails short, with the underneath there, it kind of looks like when you scratch it, it kind of looks stalky-like, which is not normal. That was never on my toes before that, and I'm wondering if I've got a doctor's appointment Monday. I'll talk to my doctor then, see if when he looks at it, maybe he'll recommend. But if nobody recommends me to a podiatrist, what can I put on it to,
Okay.
And
Rose, I think the first thing, and this is what I do with my patients too, a lot of people think they have fungus, they think they have problems. Before I start treating anybody, I'll take a culture of that toenail, just a little clipping of that nail, and we just send it out, grow it out. It tells me whether you have fungus, mold, yeast, bacteria. Sometimes you can have a dermatitis called lichen chronicus, or it can be none of these, and it's just trauma. Okay. And if it's trauma, no medicine under the sun is going to clear it up, and that's why a lot of people are not successful at treating this. So that's the first thing, to get the correct diagnosis, and then once you have that, it can be treated accordingly. Sometimes if it's trauma and that nail is just so unsightly, we remove them permanently. And you say, oh my, I don't have a toenail. It just looks like regular skin on there, but then you don't have that unsightly nail. So there's several things you need to do, but I think you need to see your podiatrist to have him do a culture on that.
Okay, and if he doesn't do a culture?
Well, I mean, some do, some don't.
Right.
That's up to that doctor and what you feel comfortable with.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
Well, thanks for your call.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Bye now.
Joyce, you're on with Dr. Haag. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello.
Hey, Joyce, you're on. Go ahead. You might want to turn down your television set there, okay? So you don't get the delay.
Okay.
Hey, George, you're on. Go ahead. You might want to turn down the television set there, okay?
Okay.
Joyce?
Yes, my problem is my fingernails are thin and they split down, and if I don't keep nail glue on them, it goes all the way to the quick. And I wondered where I could get nail polish that was healthy, because I have to keep something on them or they just crack and split in both ways. So that was my question.
Okay, well, this is a little bit far from the foot. You want to try to handle that one, or?
Yeah, again, a dermatologist could help here too, but
Right, a diagnosis.
I think here again, they need to culture that nail. Is it trauma, is it injury, or is it actually a fungus?
Right.
And then if you do...
Well, it's on different nails. It isn't just one problem.
And again, if it is a fungus, there are toenail polishes that have the antifungal medication in there too.
Right.
So you can take care of the two problems at once.
So sometimes fungus do get on the nails, though it's less common.
That's true, because we're washing our hands. When it's more common on the foot because it's in a dark, damp place.
Very damp.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for your call, Joyce. Hope that helps.
I'll tell you what my husband did. He had fungus under his nails and his feet, and he just used bleach, just dripped bleach down, and it went away. He cured himself with bleach. I don't know if that's advisable, but it worked for him.
Maybe just bleach his nail. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that's really advisable.
Okay.
Okay. Well, otherwise my nails just don't grow real good. I don't have any trouble with them growing, but they aren't strong. I am taking now hair, skin, and nails, and I think they've gotten a little better since I've been taking that.
Okay, Joyce. Well, I hope your nails get happy there. Thanks for calling us, okay?
Thank you.
Okay. You know, I think that's a great point. That's very important when you have a problem to make a diagnosis.
Right.
You know, a lot of people try to diagnose themselves, and it might be trauma, and they might be doing stuff that really is not helping at all.
That's right.
So I think that's a very good point. Unfortunately, we're about ready to go to break now. You give us a call, 855-644-3278. You can go to our website, heartwiseministries.org. You can also keep up with our ministry by going to our Facebook page and being one of our friends. Carmen, you're on the line next after we go to break, so stay with us. And remember, at the heart of health, we want everyone to be healthy, but also we want everyone to have that relationship with God that helps us learn these things about our health, helps us to change our lifestyle, helps us to feel better, and gives us hope in the future. So hold that with you as we go to break here. And we're going to be right back. And Carmen, we're going to answer your question with Dr. Haag. 855-644-3278 is our number.
Heart of Health Live will return in just a moment.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Hello, I'm Dr. Tim Jennings with your Mental Health Minutes. Are you pregnant or thinking of becoming pregnant? Do you want to ensure your child will have the healthiest brain possible? Then avoid all alcohol because as little as 1 glass of wine per week alters brain development and is associated with behavior and emotion problems. Avoid smoking. Children born to mothers who smoked had higher rates of learning and behavior problems and psychotic disorders. Take omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3s promote healthy brains and higher IQ. And watch out for depression. Untreated depression is associated with delayed fetal growth and altered brain development. However, antidepressants can increase miscarriage rates, contribute to smaller fetal heads, and slow growth in the newborn. If depressed, consider transcranial magnetic stimulation, the only FDA-cleared, drug-free treatment for depression with no risk to the fetus. To be smart requires a healthy brain, so be smart, do right, and make your child bright.
To learn more about mental health, visit comeandreason.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. James Marcum, Speaker, Director of Heartwise Ministries. And at Heartwise, our goal is to bring people into a relationship with the Heavenly Father using modern medicine and the healing principles found in the Bible. We teach people that there is a place for modern medicine and a healthy lifestyle, but it is in a relationship with their Creator where ultimate healing can occur. Over the past years, our ability to share this message of truth, love, and healing around the world has increased exponentially. But to continue this steady growth, we need your help. We are looking and praying for 100 individuals willing to give $1,000 a year. If the Spirit is moving you to become one of the Heartwise 100, won't you consider donating online today at heartwiseministries.org.
You've got questions, we've got answers on the Heart of Health Live. Welcome back.
Welcome back. And the next question, we're talking about your feet tonight. And then Dr. Haag is with us, a podiatrist. It comes from Laverne. And Laverne knows us. What are some of the natural pain relief things I can do for a neuropathy?
For neuropathy, okay.
Yeah. Let's tell what a neuropathy is.
Now again, this is not just diabetic neuropathy,
Right.
This is neuropathy in general.
Right.
Neuropathy is where the nerve is damaged. You can have anything from numbness to tingling to burning sensation to pain. And again, usually the most common cause is diabetes.
And it can happen in the feet.
It can. Well, in diabetes, that's where the first problems start happening. Diabetes, disease of small blood vessels and nerves.
And someone once told me it happens in the feet because the nerves are so far downstream.
And they're so small. And the key question, or the key answer there is keep your sugar under control.
Okay.
Keep your glucose under
Blood sugar.
control. That's
Good.
the natural way. Neuropathy, when we think of nerves, we think of the B complex vitamins.
Okay.
And something that we use is a combination of B6, B12, and folic acid. You can get it in a compound called Metanic. And there's a generic out there to it, but that's a natural way.
Okay.
There are also other medications, but that's the most natural way.
And I like to add in, I like to keep people healthy, keep their circulation good by eating good foods, fresh fruits and vegetables.
Right.
And I think exercise helps neuropathy too.
Absolutely,
Good.
absolutely.
Okay. Our next question, Carmen from Texas, you're on with Dr. Haag. Go ahead.
Hi, Dr. Haag. How are you?
Just fine.
I have a couple of questions when it comes to plantar fasciitis, which is a pretty painful situation. What's the cause of it? It seems to come on pretty fast. And then my other question associated with that is I've had 3 shots in the foot and the heel, and I've got inserts that range from $10 to $700, and surgery. Is that an option? Would that totally heal it, or would it come back, or what? Or do you always have pain?
Good question. And I'd like to just happen to have a model of the foot here. What is plantar fasciitis? Plantar fasciitis, that band that's on the bottom of the foot, right there, that spans across here, is called the plantar fascia. Okay. When there is stress and strain on the arch of the foot, there's your key. Stress and strain on the arch of the foot, this band pulls and pulls. That's where it gets inflamed, and that's where the pain is. The pain can stay there at the heel. The pain can also come down the plantar fascia, and it can also go back up the continuous fibers right into the Achilles tendon, and you can get even Achilles tendonitis.
Ouch.
Yes. And a lot of times, if this happens over weeks to months, that pulling occurs, and it actually pulls part of the covering of the bone called the periosteum, and it thickens, it hardens, and you get a heel spur.
Okay.
And people say, oh, I've got heel spurs and they hurt. The spur is not what hurts. What hurts is the pulling of the plantar fascia. So you've got plantar fasciitis, and it sounds like you've gone through several things. There is not any one treatment for plantar fasciitis. Treating that is a team approach, like a team sport. It takes every player to be successful here. Items from resting, just getting off your foot, letting it be, to giving it support. I use a strap that's put right, it's like a figure 8 right around the foot. It lifts up on the arch. The key is arch support though. You can put all the cushions in the heel you want. That's not going to totally do it. But it's lifting up in the arch, takes the tension off of here. You talked about cortisone injections. That is part of a treatment. There's oral anti-inflammatories you can use. I use physical therapy. Something new that's out, it's called A-stim. A-stim.
Okay.
And that's where they use certain instruments and go up and down the foot and the leg just to work the plantar fascia and the Achilles tendon. There's physical therapy you can do at home. Combination of 10 minutes of cold followed by 20 minutes of heat. Okay. You have orthotics. Orthotics are a way to go. There are special orthotics that are just for plantar fasciitis. If you have heel spurs, certain combinations we make for that. So there are several different ways. The other thing that you use is called a night splint. And stretching. You must stretch. You must stretch the plantar fascia. You must stretch the Achilles tendon. A night splint just holds that foot in a 90-degree angle while you sleep, and that helps to also stretch. You mentioned about surgery. Is that for you? You know what? Probably only about 2 out of 10 people will go and have surgery. And it's a matter of lengthening that plantar fascia so it takes the tension off of there. The key, though, is wearing the right shoes. I put them in a sneaker and an arch support. No flip-flops, no sandals, no barefoot, no house slippers, no sock feet. A good sneaker from the time you get up in the morning to the time you go to bed.
Okay.
Where do you get that stretch thing that you sleep in?
The stretch.
The strap?
Yeah.
I use, it's just a regular strap, and it does a figure 8. You can probably pick it up in most of the drugstores. Why I like that better than something that, a sleeve that slides on, because you can adjust the tension.
Okay. Well, thank you.
I've had a boot, and you just can't sleep in a big boot.
Yeah.
And
if you can't, then you use it if you're watching television, working on your computer, reading a book. At least try to get 4 hours in that night splint.
Okay.
Okay. Could I ask one more small question? Earlier you were talking about neuropathy, and I've got neuropathy in my 2 big toes, but I'm not diabetic. Is that a sign of pre-diabetes or anything?
Well, you need to get your blood checked.
Yeah.
Good.
It's okay.
Yeah. And
Okay.
It could be a vitamin deficiency.
It could be.
Could be trauma to the nerves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you for your call, Carmen.
You bet. Thank you very much.
Okay. Diana, you're on with Dr. Haag. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have what I think is a plantar's wart on the ball of my foot, and I use that freezing stuff on it and also the little pads that are supposed to get rid of them. And it keeps coming back in the same spot, and I was wondering if there's something else I could use on it, or is it possibly not a plantar's wart?
That's a good question right there. I think number one, you need to make the diagnosis. Is it a plantar's wart, or is it just a seed corn or corn that's on the bottom of the foot? A plantar's wart, when you take off the top of the skin, you'll get little black dots or little pinpoint bleeding, and that's very diagnostic of a wart. Okay. A corn is something that looks more like a cone shape. You just see the hard skin on the top, but it goes down, and it's really a clogged sweat duct.
Okay.
And we talked about how many sweat ducts that you
Yeah.
have on the bottom of your foot. So you really need to understand, is it a corn or is it a wart? Having a wart, you really need to see your podiatrist, and they'll give you the proper medication, different ways of treating it with different medications or laser or just surgically taking it out. Corn may be something else that has to be looked at.
Okay. Well, I hope that helps out, Diana.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
You know, according to my statistics here, I'm learning a lot, let me tell you. I'm learning a lot about my foot, and it's getting me scary that maybe I should start doing more about my feet before something gets bad. But about 5% of people in America, 1 in 20, have a toenail problem.
Yes.
You know, and then we talked about all the people, 3 out of 4 have foot problems, and I think we're seeing that tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Your office must be packed.
We're busy.
Now, you know, is it important for prevention? I mean, I guess you talked about the shoes. What else people can do to prevent them having foot problems when they get older?
Well, I think the most important thing is look at your feet.
Okay.
You know, don't just, don't wear your socks to bed. You know, look at your feet, examine them, keep them clean.
Yeah.
Get a mirror, put it on the floor, and look on the underneath of your foot too. Just see what's going on. And just make sure your shoe fits.
Yeah, and if your feet hurt, that's not good. Stay with us. We're going to answer some more questions. We're here with Dr. Haag. 855-644-3278 is your number, and you still have time to join us. Stay with us. You're watching Heart of Health Live.
The Heart of Health Live will return in just a moment.
I'm Dr. James Marcum, and I talk to patients every day who want to know the truth in healthcare. On our website, heartwiseministries.org, you can have your questions answered. You can read my blog where I talk about interesting and controversial subjects in medicine. You might choose to go to the radio or television sections and learn more about all sorts of health topics. Take the time and go to heartwiseministries.org. There's a place for modern medicine, but that's not enough. There's a place for lifestyle, but that's not enough. The real truth in medicine, the real truth in healing comes from that relationship with the Heavenly Father. That relationship can show us the balance, when to use modern medicine, when to use lifestyle, and to use it for the right reasons. Well, this book gives the solution to the healthcare dilemma. It answers the question, why am I sick? How do I get better? And how can I have ultimate healing?
I'd like to think that one day, when we get to heaven, we're going to see a list of people like Jared and Susan, who were introduced to Jesus because of something we said. Or maybe it was as simple as a passing smile. But these people will look into their past and be able to say, I'm here because of you. Recently, you may have heard that Heartwise Ministries has begun spreading the gospel to the young, the old, the sick, and the healthy using this very television program. But we need your help. We want to take this type of medical programming to the non-believer and the person who has closed themselves off to traditional forms of outreach. If you believe as we do and want to support Heartwise so that together we can count more names on the tree of life, please consider donating today at heartwiseministries.org. That's heartwiseministries.org.
You've got questions, we've got answers on the Heart of Health Live. Welcome back.
We are in our last segment talking about podiatry, so we're going to go through quick, limit everyone to about 30 seconds so we can get as many callers on. We have a caller that's talking about Morton's neuroma. Are you on with us? Hello, anyone on with the Morton's neuroma? Do you have a question for Dr. Haag?
Yes, I wanted to know, is there anything that I can do for a Morton's neuroma besides having it surgically removed?
Okay, well, we'll talk about that. Go ahead, Dr. Haag.
Well, what is a neuroma? A neuroma is a pinched nerve, and when that nerve gets pinched, it swells up. It is benign, it's not malignant, and it comes between the metatarsals. And usually what happens, the metatarsals are either too close to each other or one's dropped down and that nerve's getting pinched. And the patient usually thinks that they might have the feeling of a sock rolled up underneath their toes, or they may get some pain to the respective toes. The most common procedure that we do for something like that are cortisone injections. What is cortisone? It's not a painkiller, it is an anti-inflammatory. And what we're trying to do is take that nerve and shrink it back down to size, so it doesn't get pinched. Usually general 3 injections does it, and if that doesn't do it, that usually works in about probably 75% of the time.
Great.
There is another procedure out there called sclerosing alcohol.
Okay.
And what that does, it just disintegrates the nerve non-surgically. That sometimes can take you 5, 6, 7 injections, a little bit more discomfort with that, but it's non-invasive. The other part too is once we get you calmed down, to get you into a good orthotic, get that foot back in realignment, and also maybe put a pad right under there to try to lift and separate those 2 metatarsals so that this doesn't occur. Check your shoes too, make sure they're wide enough. So a tight shoe, a pointed shoe can bring this problem on too.
Okay, well thanks. We're going to go to Alvina. Alvina, you're on with Dr. Haag. Alvina,
Hello.
You there?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I wear gym shoes. I have orthotics, and my feet perspire profusely. I walk every morning. I walk 3 miles each morning, so my feet are my socks are wet when I come home from walking. And I wanted to know about this. It's not an insert, but she said it's similar to a shoe tree that you put in your shoe to destroy fungus.
Okay, we're going to have to answer this quick. We only have about a minute left. Go ahead.
You're referring to the Steri shoe. It's a Steri shoe. You can look it up on the web, or you can see your podiatrist about it. And again, that really helps fungus that's in the shoe. You need to wear cotton socks, change your socks more often, look at the type of shoe, make sure it's not man-made inner shoe. You want more leather on the shoe so your foot breathes.
Okay.
There are different foot powders too. If you have odor with those sweaty feet, that means you have fungal infection.
Okay. Now, Dr. Haag, we're almost all out of time. We'll have to have you on again. But how can people get a hold of you if they want to reach you?
I am in Collegedale, Ottawa. I'm at the Foot and Ankle Center there, and my number is 423-396-3668. Foot.
Okay.
So give me a call.
Good. Listen, I'm sorry we couldn't answer everyone's call. If you go to our website and leave your question, that's heartwiseministries.org. We'd be happy to answer your question. We're going to have Dr. Haag on again, so save up your questions. And I think this is such an important topic out there. I hope everyone gets their feet taken care of. And if you have a foot problem, make sure you see a local podiatrist and get it looked at. And we want to wish you all the best of health. Keep joining us every week where we have your questions answered. We just want to take the best care of everyone that's out there in God's world. Thanks for joining us on Heart of Health Live.